Old School Soul Food family? Chef Jeff is back with another video. All right, y'all, this is Monday Motivational Menu. Monday Motivational Talk here. And I'm going to touch on a subject people been asking me about. I'm going to tell y'all, I worked at a private country club for 34 years. And I'm going to probably put it in 30-minute video here. Exactly what I did from 1988 all the way to 2002 of this year in January when I retired. And I'm trying to squeeze in there the ins and outs, what different departments I went through, what did I learn from that, and what things I dealt with on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Before I get to that, I'm gonna just kind of touch base with some few things here. What was I gonna say? Interrupt myself. These videos on money, unfortunately, and sadly, is one of my least watched videos, and I hate that because there's so much things I say in these videos that people ask me later on. Sometimes it's motivation, sometimes it's just little tidbits and advice that I give people, and they'll ask me later on, what do you do this and this and this? If you go back and watch the video on Monday where I'm sitting down, I'm really concentrating and got my notes out where I can tell you certain things you can learn. But a lot of people won't watch. That's the way people are wired. If they don't see you doing something, cooking and entertaining, they won't watch it. That's what they want to watch. If you doing something to give them knowledge in the head and stuff like that, they won't watch. That's the way it is in the world. People watch entertainers, sports figures and stuff like that, but they won't watch stuff that improve their life mentally, spiritually, and financially. They won't watch that. That's just the way people are wired, unfortunately. If they would change that mindset, it'd be successful how people would be in this world. Believe me, I've changed my mindset. Y'all already know my story. But upcoming next week or the week after, probably the week after, I'm going to get back on my financial advice. I already told y'all about the $25 a week, $100 a month, start saving so we can invest. I need y'all to keep doing that because I'm going to get back to that. I haven't forgot that. But I'm going to also touch on 401ks, which is totally different from RAs and Roth IRAs investments. Totally different, and I'm going to show you the difference of it and the major benefit of 401ks also. I was fortunate enough where I have 401k and IRA and Social Security. When I turned 59 and a half and 62, I have 3 checks. That's why I tell people I'm going to break it down how you can have 3 checks coming to you on a monthly basis instead of that Social Security. You can have a Social Security check, you can have an IRA check, and you can have a 401k check, all coming to you and when you retire. Okay, another thing, Thanksgiving ideal, everything about Thanksgiving. Next month, when the video come out, it'll be Halloween, it'll be last of the month. Next month, which will be tomorrow, the 1st, I'm going to give I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm going to do an in-depth video of what you need to do. Thanksgiving this year is going to be totally different because I'm not working. So I can really hit y'all early with everything you need to buy, get the videos out so you can start purchasing things you need to get before they run out. Last few years I'm working, so it's kind of just trying to get it in where I can get in on top of my busy schedule at work. So November is going to be, that's the most watched month of the year, every year for me is November. Because everybody looking for turkey and dressing and cranberry sauce and giblet gravy and candy yams and sweet potato pie and all this stuff, and I'm definitely going to have it for y'all. Also, last week, I just want to show my appreciation to so many people. I did a video on bullying, my story, and what I went through, and so many people have the same issues I did, and some a lot worse, and I do that, y'all. People say, why you put these videos out and put yourself out like that? Because I want to show y'all that I'm no better or worse than y'all. I overcome a lot. A lot of people struggling what I struggle to and think they can't overcome it. They're looking for a way out. They're looking for solutions. Is there anybody out there going through the same thing they are? And I just put that out there. But look, if I'm a YouTuber, social media, I have 8 social media accounts. over 600, and they'll say next year I'll go over 1 million total family members, subscribers. But I'm up to 675,000 total subscribers, almost 1 million. They say this time next year they forecast me to have over 1 million. So I can say over 1 million people watch me on a weekly, monthly, daily, weekly, and monthly basis. And I overcame that because, like I say, I got help. Power of prayer is nothing is better than the power of prayer. Yeah, I put that first. I always put God first and pray and believe. And when you pray, get up or walk away, and God hear you. God hear you, and He gonna take care of you, and He gonna answer you right when you least expect it. Everything's gonna turn around. I am a living witness to that. Power of prayer is nothing like it. There's nothing more that's better than that. Because I have prayed before for God for stuff, and I just leave it to Him. Like I say, go there and leave it there, and God's going to take care of it. So I just want to, like I say, appreciate everybody's comments and sharing your thoughts and what you've been through. And also, I'm definitely getting back with y'all. A lot of y'all, also, when you call me, leave your number slowly, please. Because a lot of people leave them number 486, da 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 da. I'm trying to write this down, and I rewind it, da da da. Leave your number very slowly. You gotta leave it twice, please. And what your name is and where you're from, and I'll get back with you. If I haven't got this, it's just because I can't understand your number and stuff like that. A lot of times you get erased on the call ID, and I can't go back and see it because another number's already erased it. So anyway, let me get to the point here at hand. I'm gonna go and tell y'all my story. And not really a story. I guess it is my trials and tribulations, what I went through. I retired. Of course, y'all don't know, I retired on my job after 34 years, January 4th of this year. Walked away from my job and totally retired, doing social media, doing what I want on a full-time basis. And I'm my own boss, got my own company, got 5 employees work with me on a part-time, full-time basis. And I pretty much got a ministry started and a cookbook coming out. So, and I got a facility in the works in Dallas. I'm gonna put in my mom's name. That's gonna feed the mostly caters to elderly and kids to have at least one hot meal a day. So that's kind of my story. But I started the club, a private country club, in I'm not gonna say the name, but y'all can pretty much know it's a club in Houston. So you do your math on that. So I started there in June of 1988. I told y'all, fresh out of college. It was crazy because a little bit, let me back up myself. The way we grew up in my household and all our siblings was the same thing. We was my parents were very, very adamant, my mom and dad, when you graduate high school, what you gonna graduate high school? When you graduated high school, you either gonna get a job, go to the army, go to the military, something. You're gonna get out of the house and make something of yourself. Every sibling left home at 18 years old and never went back. None of us ever went back. Our parents taught. I was blessed to have 2 strong, disciplined, God-fearing parents in my life that just they wasn't my friends, y'all. They was my parents, and I loved them to death. They loved me to death. They loved me enough to not be my friend, to be my parents. That's what's changed in the daytime. In the daytime, parents so much trying to be the kids' friends and cater to everything they want. And later on, the kids just ain't at home at 30 years old, living at home with their mom and dad. They wonder why, because you didn't put no discipline, and my dad say, foot in the behind and make them adults. But anyway, I left, I graduated high school in May of 1986. May 28, 1986. June 7th of 1986, I was already in college. I left home 1 week after I graduated and never been back. Never went back home. A week after I graduated, I was gone. So 86 to 88, I went to college, got a culinary degree, Associated Applied Science and Food Service Technology. June 8, I graduated May of 1988. May 25th, 1988. June 15th, I was at home 1 week after I got out of college. Within 1 week, I had got a job here in Houston. I was 1 week, I was starting on my job full time. I literally, when I graduated high school, I was 2 weeks at home before I was here in Houston working a full time job. So June 88, I started Houston. and started the club. I already told you my story, how to deal with situations and stuff like that. But I started my first job at the club was the club is a facility of private owned, not owned, private membership. We have I think it's 1,500 or 1,800 members there, and the same people clientele go every week there, and they open every day except Monday. Most country clubs are open every day except Mondays. Um, so my job when I first started there, I started on the grill. The grill station have a lot of stations in the kitchen. Kitchen's huge. You got 50, 60 chefs working in there, and you got maybe 20 stewards, dishwashers, and so on. So it's about 80 people on the payroll in my. It's huge commercial kitchen, different stations. So I started. My job was working on the a la carte line. A la carte meaning people come in there and sit in. I want to order this, this, and this. That's a la carte, where you tell them what you want to order. It's not like a preset thing. So my job was to cook steaks. I worked 2 to 10. I worked 2 p.m. My hours were 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. I worked every day. I was only off on Mondays. We used to work 48 hours a week, 6 days a week. I made $6 an hour when I first started, which don't seem like a lot, but apartments in 1988, I had when I first got my apartment in 1988, where I paid $335 a month, all bills paid, 1-bedroom apartment, y'all, and that's unheard of. You remember back in the 80s and early 90s, shoot, all bills paid, that was the apartment to have. Put your AC down on 60, shoot, you can cool all day. But anyway, that's what I made when I first started working in the club, $6 an hour. I was making $250 a week. That's what my check was. But really was $225 a week, because I'm sending what? $25 home. I was sending $100 a month home, so I was really making bringing home $225 a week. Yeah, at 19, I was had turned 20. Let me backtrack. I just turned 20 when I started the club. I turned 20 in March. I started in June of that year, so I just turned 20. I wasn't even 21 when I started the club. And like I say, I was making $250 a month. So at the age of 20, I was already saving for the future. At 20 years old, my parents had instilled that much discipline in me. So my job was every night, and it was one of the busiest stations and the hottest stations on the line. You have grill stations, the guy to do steaks. You have a station to do vegetables. You have a station to saute like fish and pasta and stuff like that. You have 3 different stations. And when you get an order, they say, I need 3 ribeyes, medium rare, lamb chop, I need a pork chop, I need a grilled chicken breast. I did hamburgers too. And then you have to listen, you have a ticket come out, and pretty much tickets didn't come out the machine then, they would handwrite the tickets, and you'd have to pretty much listen. I didn't know a ticket, I didn't have the ticket where I can actually look at it, so you have to pretty much listen to. They had an expediter, and he or she would tell you what you had to order, and you had to listen and pretty much get in your head. So that's something I had to, quickly catch on. So you get ribeye medium rare, T-bone medium, 3 lamb chop, chicken breast or whatever. I was absolutely amazing on this station, even without the help of certain people. One guy did help me out when I get weeded. Weeded mean you were just totally swamped, got a lot of orders, but I absolutely love this station because that's what I excelled at in my previous job in high school, cooking steaks, so it was right into my element. So I worked that station maybe 2 or 3 years, and I was working on this one chef named Robert Jones. He's passed away many years ago. Nice laid-back chef, but he wasn't a working chef. He's mostly just there overseeing. He wasn't really hands-on. He had a lot of managers under him. So from 1988 to 1990, I worked under him. But in 1990, everything changed. We got a new chef, a certified master chef, which at that time was only like 10 or 15 of them in the world, named Fritz Gisner. In 1990, everything changed. We brought in he was from Austria, with German chef. And he was high strong, which I still talk to him that he changed my life forever in the positive. High strong, very disciplined, very to the point, attention to detail, everything. A lot of the kitchen, cause like I told you, a lot of the kitchen was a lot of homegrown chefs when I started there. Nobody had culinary degrees and stuff like that, only me. That's why I told you I took so much bullying, because I was, like I say, college bar with a degree and all that. And they kind of look down on that, thinking I'm better than everybody else, which I didn't think myself. I just happened to go to college and get my degree. So he come in there, that's what he pretty much wanted in the kitchen also. He wanted to kind of clean the kitchen up. That's why they brought him in there, got rid of the other chef. And he was attention to detail, very stern, very disciplined. And to me, it wasn't no big deal. That's where my daddy was. So a lot of people couldn't handle it. You had to be mentally tough with this chef. It wasn't the work. It was just the mentally tough. And you can't get no mentally tough than me. My daddy, I told people, this guy's a cakewalk. My daddy was 10 times tougher than he was. But a lot of people couldn't deal with that. A lot of people were just quitting and just saying, I can't deal with this stuff. But this guy changed my life because he took what I did best and magnified it and pushed me to the next level. I told you I had a low self-esteem, low stuff like this. This chef took me, I'm going to go down the list here. From 1990, I got the new chef. And I worked with him different stations. I went to Saltaire, went to Veg Station, I went to Gourmet. Gourmet is a room where you work, just only do salads and dressings. We do all our dressing stuff in house. I just started moving from it. You need the salad department on the line. You have the department on the a la carte line to only do salads. I worked that. I started working breakfasts in the morning. I worked for like 2 years in the morning from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. That was the shift in the morning. I worked that. He was moving me around to different stations, so I was just gaining more and more and more knowledge on all these areas, all into 1994. 1994, I moved into my glorious happy place. From 1994 to 1999, or 98, I would say, between 98 and 99, I moved to baking and pastry. I moved to the shift was 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. No, I was working, had moved into 5 days a week, so it was like I get a day off, usually a Wednesday. My job was to make fresh Parker House rolls. I made lemonade pie, I made all the cakes, I made all the cookies, I made the biscuits, I made the cornbread. Every day I made everything fresh, big things of dough. That's what I done. I was in my element. It was a different department, and I was in my element for, what is this, 6 years or so? That's a happy place. That's why I wanted to work forever. Don't get me out from over here. I love it because I love baking. It was just making pies and cakes and things. That's why I tell y'all when I make videos, I'm in my element when I'm baking cakes and pies and bread. So, long story short, 1999, I'm in my element. I just don't, and he had told me a year before, my boss, I want you to be a manager. I want to be a sous chef, meaning that's a manager. You manage other people, tell them, this and that, supervise. I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to deal, I still had that low self-esteem. I didn't want to deal with having to discipline people, tell people what to do. That wasn't me. That wasn't in me, so I thought. So I kept turning it down. And a year later, he come, Jeffrey, I want you to go and be a sous chef. You have the knowledge and do all this. You can work in any department, da-da-da. I was just in my happy place, and that's like I say, I was in my comfort zone over there in the baking and pastry. I can go to work 5 a.m., go home 1 p.m. Shoot, I got all my day to spend or whatever. Of course, I have to get up early in the morning, but I'm country. That's what I love doing. Finally, in 1999, something happened in the kitchen. He asked me again. I say, Jeffrey, I really need you to be sous chef. That changed me in a lot of aspects. It taught me leadership, taught me how to supervise people, how to organize and deal with certain situations. So I started supervising in pretty much on the a la carte line at lunchtime. And the thing about this, y'all, I had the respect already from a lot of my peers that I was supervising because they know I worked myself up to them levels. I was never late. I was there on time. I knew how to talk to people. So when I had to supervise people, I already had the ultimate respect. I didn't have to really, I never lost my temper. People say I never saw you get upset or whatever. Another thing I didn't do, when the rubber hits the road and things start getting bad and getting rough and you're getting busy and stuff happen, I never lost my cool. I never let them see me, like the quote, never let them see you sweat, never is, because I learned this from a lot of people. The people that work under you look up to the supervisor when things going bad and when stuff getting tough, and they see how you react and how you get through it. That's a big inlight of how they are. So when things get rough and things like waiters forget orders and the members down there waiting on orders, something I would cook, I tell them, look, don't worry about it. If you forgot the order, let me know what you got and we'll deal with that after the fact. Something burns, something drops, don't worry, let's get this going, da da da. We'll talk with this after the shift is over. That's how you handle it, and a lot of employees respected that. I didn't have a lot of employees under me coming in late, calling in sick, grouping off, because I just had the ultimate respect. Because I always told them, I'm never going to ask you to do something that I can't do, that I never have to do. I pretty much been through any situation in the kitchen, and I never wanted to, like I say, show them under pressure you can do anything. So, but all the way up to 2000 and from 99 all the way to 2012, I was a sous chef. I worked from the a la carte line. I worked in banquets, doing banquets mornings and nights. Majority of the time, mornings meaning breakfasts and lunches. I'd have to get there at 5 in the morning. You got a breakfast party for 300-400 people. Plate up, meaning eggs, bacon, sausage, eggs, bacon, hash browns, all this plate up. I mean, you got to get this stuff cooked. Put it on the line, we plate. It's not buffet. We had buffets too. We had a lot of plate ups. And you had to be there early and get that stuff organized and get all your cooks and stuff. I had to oversee all that. And then after that is over, then you got to flip over and you got a lunch for 250, 300 people. You might have a buffet for 150 plus a plate up 30 minutes later for 250, all going on at the same time in lunchtime. So yeah, and it's very stressful, but like I say, it's all mental. I tell people working in a big kitchen like that is 75-80% mental. The other stuff is physical. If you're not mentally strong, you're gonna break and you're not gonna be able to handle it. The physical part is no big deal. It's being mentally strong and how to be organized, always be attention to detail, and always be a step ahead in any situation. What if this happened? What if that happened? What you gonna do? And you gotta think on the fly. That's something I learned working in big kitchens. So with that aspect, like I say, when I used to do catering for people for 100 people on my own, and people say, "Oh, you gonna do?" That's nothing. I'm doing 800-900. I did 1,000 people sit down one time for the millennium. We did 1,000 people sit down. When 99 turned into 2000 millennium, we had a big millennium party. 1,000 people sit down. 5 courses, y'all. And that was one of the most exciting days. But we worked morning to night to get that done, and it took all week to get it done. But it was absolutely amazing. But by 2012, we had a new chef coming in there. By 2000, he came before 2012. I think he come 2010 maybe. I'm not for sure. And let me tell you something about me. I got flat feet, walking on cement a lot of times, and my body started to break down. Of course, my body's back strong now because I don't work on cement. I don't walk on a lot of cement. Like I tell you, I walk bare feet now. And they told me this way when I tried to get in the military. I couldn't get in the military because I had flat feet. I would have had to sign a waiver. That's why I didn't go to the military. And it kind of messes with me walking, doing 10, 12, 14, 16-hour shifts, walking on cement, even though you have masks. Most times walking on hard cement, it's not really normal for anybody, but for me, it's even worse. And it was totally breaking my body down in the early 40s. And my new chef, he kind of see that. I mean, I'm struggling too. I'm so tough mentally. I ain't let it stop me. I didn't miss a beat, but you can see me limping. I don't limp now because I'm overcome that because I don't work at those hours and work on cement anymore. So 2012, it was an opportunity to come up in the purchasing. And he approached me. He said, "Jeffrey, I don't want to kind of offend you or nothing like that." Cause I talked to you. He said, "Would you be interested to go into purchasing and work purchasing and get out of the kitchen?" Because he thought it was going to offend me because, of course, I love cooking. Purchasing, you go from what I was doing, I was working pretty much 5 days a week, Saturdays and Sundays, sometime night. Of course, you work holidays. Purchasing, your hours are Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sundays off. You're pretty much off on the holidays because there's no purchasing on holidays. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'll take that, Chef. So from 2012 to when I retired, a little bit over 10 years, that's what I was doing. My job in purchasing wasn't easier, it was more pressure because my job now was to make sure everything that they have in the club, anything, any food that the club needed in there, it was my responsibility to get it. Plus, get it at a reasonable price. Plus, I had a budget and a food cost that I must make every month. I couldn't be over. And I met that number every month, all the way up to 2020 when everything broke loose. The whole economy just messed up because of COVID. That's when my food costs started going crazy. But from 2002 all the way to 2010, I was never over the number that I was supposed to meet on food costs. Never was. I was very adamant. I'm very frugal shopper. I'm very good, and that's why I tell y'all, when I go shopping, I know when people ripping people off. I know the numbers. I know when food's supposed to be this price, that price. I know because that's what I did for 10 years. And I did it in bulk. I did it in small items. I've been to so many stores. That's why I know all these stores in Houston, stuff like that. I know so many contacts. I know it all when it comes to purchasing food. I'll put it up to anybody. I can just rock off numbers, what things supposed to be. But my job was to order fruit, vegetables, meat, seafood, dry goods, everything come through me. I had to know what we had in the house, how much it cost on that. Of course, I had my own office. I had everything on the computer, and that's what I did. I bought every year over $1.5 million worth of food products every year. That's what I spent in food, $1.5 million. That's how much food I bought. But the thing is, to get it rotated, I had one guy work with me. He worked with me. He was there on the weekends when I wasn't off. I had one guy, he worked with me maybe 6 years before he retired. And then James worked with me. I told you about James that from Afghanistan. He works in a bank now. I told you about his story, how he come to this country with nothing and worked hard, and he excelled and went to college and got everything he needed to do. Now he's a banker. I told you a story on that. And the last year I was there, it was another guy was there, maybe the last 8 months before I retired. So I worked under 3 people worked with me. Their job was to put stuff up as they came in. All the deliveries come in. Their job was to put stuff on shelves, and then their job also, when the cooks ordered stuff from the purchasing on the storeroom, it was his job to take it to them and refill what they needed. But I had to, like I say, you ordering Thanksgiving and Christmas was a killer for me because you ordering 30, 40 cases of sweet potatoes, 10, 15 cases of corn. That's why I kind of look at people when they comment, oh, this and this. Look, you don't have a clue. But I love my job every day I went in there because every day was different. Every day was different, y'all. When you're ordering that much stuff, and we got all our seafood come in whole. We had a guy, he still there, he cuts the fish. All the fish was fresh, snapper, salmon. I was able to purchase stuff, and we had a budget where we kind of could order real expensive stuff. I work for wealthy people. That's why I say I look at go to Vegas and see these different buffets, these ribeyes and crab meats and stuff, and I say this is the lowest quality of seafood you can get. When you go to these buffets and stuff, people think, oh, they got crab meat, they got oyster. That's the lowest quality of food. The ribeyes and prime ribs and stuff, that's the lowest quality of meat that they give because that's how they can give it away on the buffet. It's not top of the line crab, oysters, prime rib, roast beef. That stuff on the buffet is the low quality you can get. A lot of people don't know that. I know good quality ribeye. I know good crab meat, and I know good fresh jumbo colossal crab meat. I know good stone crabs that used to come in. I used to take it. Stone crabs come in, it's already cooked. All crab is cooked when they come in. I take it, especially the Alaskan king crabs that come like this, not the little bitty one you see on the buffet. I take it, bust open the box, and I give me some cocktail sauce. Oh my gosh, nothing like good fresh crab dipped in cocktail sauce. I'm telling you, cold crab was, oh my God. But yeah, we get all the fish in fresh, and the butcher would clean it and stuff like that. If it's not fresh, we send it back. But we had an element of respect around the city, really around the United States. But if it's not a certain quality, we had definitely a quality of us that people know don't send us nothing, no quote unquote crap, because it's going back. But we had a level of quality at our club that I never reveal on. Don't send me no rotten vegetables, no rotten lettuce, no nothing like that. Stuff that's about to expire, I'm gonna check it, it's going back on the truck. So they pretty much knew that. So I ordered for maybe 30, 40 different purveyors on a pretty much weekly basis. So that was my job, Monday through Friday, and my job was to do that for 10 years. But it happened in 2020. I was gonna retire, and I said this is enough for me or whatever. And then the pandemic hit, and I said no, I'm gonna wait. I was gonna retire at 50. I said I'll just wait a few more years, and then last October, I had did a meet and greet here in KATY, and I drove there. It was last October I did that, and I drove up into the club like I do at 5:30 in the morning, and I just wasn't happy. I say, I just don't want to do this anymore. And that when I always say, the moment I go to a job and I don't feel it in here that I want to do it, it's disrespect to the job and disrespect for me, and it's selling them short because I'm not giving my 110% like I always would. And I knew I just need to take time and just call it a career, and that's what did. And social media helped too, but it was just, you know, when it's time to go. Nothing against the people, nothing against the employees. That's the best 34 years of my life, y'all. I loved working there, even though I dealt with the bullying and all that, but all that did was help me grow and help me excel. Another thing, people wonder what I learned from working in fine dining and, you know, stuff like that. It's the way I plate food. The people say, how you work in a small space? Because I worked in the kitchen. You got 30 chefs in there, and everybody have a certain area, and you must keep your area clean, and you don't have a lot of space. Even though the kitchen's huge, you got a lot of cooks in there, so you got to learn to work in a small space, keep it clean and organized. It's very important. If not, the supervisor's going to get on you, number one, and number two, you're not going to get nothing done if you got stuff all over the way. If y'all notice how my videos are, I have everything prepped already. Everything's set a certain way. And when I do video, you don't really see me running around the kitchen all the time. I have all my stuff that I need, and every video and every recipe I have already there. And I don't need a big work area. I don't need a big kitchen to put out. I can put out, like I say, I did Super Bowl parties at my house, right out of my kitchen there, like nothing. Because the way you organize what you cook first, what you cook second, what you can do last, and things like that, way you organize. And I learned that 34 years working in a commercial kitchen, how to be organized and attention to detail when I plate food. You can notice when I plate food, I try to now to make sure they balance. You got to have a veg here. You got to have height in your plate, not just nothing, just flat. I don't like nothing on the rim of my plate. The plate has to be clean. I don't like to have, you know, if I had a plate here, I could show you. You know how you got the plate here, and I try to leave everything a little bit off the rim of the plate. I don't want it touching the plate. I want everything not bunched up. I want height to the food, and where everything has to be balanced. Starch, vegetable. If you got a sauce on there, make sure the sauce flows, but it don't flow all the way to the rim. Y'all notice that when I play, and that's just the chef mentality. I mean, some people are cooks and some people are chefs. Some people call themselves chefs. And I look at it, I don't say nothing. A lot of videos, they just like, put it on the plate, here it is. I go to a lot of restaurants, a lot of expensive restaurants. I look at the things they plate, how they plate the food, how they present it. And it's like people playing. So I'm going to Vegas, some fine restaurants in Vegas, and I look at some of how this stuff is plated. It's just like, really? You just gonna throw this on the plate and give it to somebody and they're gonna pay 60, 70 bucks for it? That just, it really boggles my mind. So, yeah, but anyway, like I say, y'all, I work with some of the most, you know, even working for another thing, saying you work for some of the richest people in not only the world, some of the richest people here in Texas. And one thing I learned about working for wealthy people, y'all, if I don't learn nothing else, they don't act rich. They don't. Let me explain to you. They have nice cars and stuff like that, but they ain't wearing all these expensive cars, all this jewelry, cars with all these rims and all this stuff that don't make a bit of sense. They're not trying to impress nobody. They're not trying to impress Bob, Joe at the light or nothing like that. These people ain't trying to impress you. They got plenty of money. They rich, and they ain't trying to impress nobody. If you don't like the way they look, that's them. But you got so many people, I tell people, you got so many, I've said this in video, you cannot obtain wealth and financial security if you're trying to impress people at the light, trying to buy stuff that you don't need, or stuff you can't afford, but people, you impress people you don't know. You know what they call the Galleria here in Houston? The Galleria is one of the most expensive malls here in Houston. It's just broke people trying to act rich. That's the only people in the Galleria. A lot of rich people don't shop at no Galleria. You got broke people trying to act rich, buying to buy all these Coach and Gucci purses and all these expensive stuff, and living at home with their parents in an apartment. I'm telling you, I say it all the time. You need to stop that. That's one thing I learned about working with rich people. And then you get advice, free advice. You just listen to them, how they invest, how they do this and that. I'm telling you, that was an advantage there for working with people like that. And also on my job, I had a big advantage too. The insurance pretty much nickels and dimes from my medical insurance, because the membership there, they took like 60-70% of the premium. They paid it itself, and we had pretty much nickel and dime in it, you know. So that was a big advantage. That was a big shocker when I had to pay my own medical insurance. Now, how much, that was a big thing. I used to get Christmas bonus, not just $25-$30. Your Christmas bonus go every year according to how long you've been there. We got every summer, they give us employee picnic. You bring your family and friends there. You got buffet, food and games every year. They acknowledge employees of the month every year. We had free meals. You can pretty much eat in. We get 3 free meals. You get breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the club every day. You got hot meals in the employee cafeteria completely free. Free parking. Just so many benefits working at the job that I do, and I just never took for granted. Because a lot of people say, "You get that at your job? You get that job?" And end of every year, you get in December they throw you a big Christmas party, big buffet, and acknowledge your employee. And you get a big Christmas bonus, and you get a gift. It's amazing the things that you got for 34 years. So I just wanted to just share with y'all what I went through 34 years on my job, how I worked or whatever, and things I learned, and how I grew from a 20-year-old skinny kid, country boy, to a 54-year-old, knowledgeable, still young man, and still a lot to do in life that I learned from my job. And of course, I'm still, like I say, alumni. I'm still, till this day, till I die, I still get a Christmas bonus from the club. That's something, when you retire, it's something you always get. And I always go back. I haven't been there in a while, but I'm going to go back in December at the Christmas party. They invite all the retirees back every year to the Christmas party. So I see a lot of guys and girls and men and women that I work for that's still there. They're working there. And the first thing I'm going to do is, "You still here?" That's what we do. Yeah. And it used to be a little saying when people leave, they all come back, which a lot of people do. A lot of people used to quit the job club and they come back within 6 months to a year later because they see the grass ain't always green on the other side. Many people do that. That used to be the big saying at the club. They all come back. And I used to tell them when I was there, when people leave, I said, "I'll see you when you come back." That would just be the big thing. "I'll see you when you come back." And they be back 6-8 months later, sometimes 2 years later. "Jeffrey, I'm still here. I'll see you when you come back." Because they know the club is an absolutely amazing organization. I love working there. I have nothing but great things to say about it. It has nothing to do but great things for me, helping me grow financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, everything at the club. And the membership there really cared for their employees. They do over and beyond because they see us every day. We're like a part of their family. And a lot of members eat there breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. We know what they want. The bartenders know what drink they want and things like that. And they know you by name. They knew I would love barbecue. They know I used to barbecue every event there at the club for 20-something years. And I would see them walking in the parking lot. I walk through the dining room. They say, "Jeffrey, what you barbecuing? What got the pit out there smoke? What you?" They all the time. Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, y'all, I know this video was kind of long. I just want to sit and talk to y'all and just kind of give you a little background of what I've been through for the last 34 years on a professional cooking level and what takes me to the level. Like I say, it learns me how to, of course, I have 5 employees work under me, and I'm the same way I was at the club. I have a very, very criteria that I expect of them, a certain things, level of things that I expect out of old school soul food, and they know that. And there's never no friction between me and my employees. I mean, because like I said, I don't ask them to do nothing that I don't do myself, and I respect them, and I talk to them with a level of respect, and they do the same to me. And I think if you do that, you have no issue in your company. Of course, you're going to have those bad apples that you can't deal with, but I've had one I had to get rid of like 2 years ago. But other than that, I have an awesome company, and it's gonna only grow. Like I say, in 2023, I'm trying to bring on one. I know I'm bringing on one more. I might try to bring on 2 more people. And really, I can really don't have to do a lot. I can do a lot of more traveling than I am now. But I'll still be doing videos. But of course, I got a new channel coming out in January. It's going to be only focusing on motivational. Like I said, the motivational money is going to be on the new channel. But I'll get with y'all in the beginning of the year. I got to get through November, December videos. So let me close this out. Remember the night, Halloween night? I might be at the lake, y'all. I don't know. But it's Halloween night, so I will be live from 5 to 6 p.m. Central Time, like every Monday. A very, very, very fun time for a lot of it. We just, having a good time in the chat. Yeah. So anyway, y'all, like I say, y'all, if y'all call me 281-345-8991, please leave your number very slowly where I can get back with you, because it's a lot of people trying to start YouTube channel. A lot of people need motivational, just talk or whatever. I'm trying to get everybody in, y'all. I called a few people last week that I need to get back to. They didn't answer, and then they called me back, and I just have to get them back into the list. So anyway, y'all, I know this video was kind of long, but anyway, I love y'all. Let me close this video. If you like this video, please share, please comment, please subscribe, please follow my other social media accounts: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch TV, Pinterest, and oldschoolsoulfood.com. Remember the hashtag 2022, helping others with a purpose. Old School Soul Food. Till next time, have a blessed Old School Soul Food day, and I will see y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Bye.